Ty.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
How's it
Ty,
going?
where are you from?
Hi, I'm Tyler from Long Island.
From Long Island.
Yeah, Nassau County.
Nassau
Franklin
County.
Square.
All right. Question?
Well, I work for the post office. I'm a mail carrier. I feel like my question's not relevant for the whole, election. But we're relevant for.
You don't have to justify it. You could just tell us. Just the
Okay,
question.
I'm sorry. It's just like sort of tentative agreement.
We should just tell people that there's a city mail carriers, or these are,
So I'm part of the city mail carriers.
and you guys have a tentative agreement
Yeah.
through your union. There are 2 postal unions
Yeah.
in the country. And one just came to a tentative agreement. And what's your question?
So I was just asking, we don't have a position in the public. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry. You're
doing
doing great.
No, I'm not. Okay. So the private sector, we're supposed to have equal pay, and I was just asking how we can get better.
Support from the public.
Yes.
I mean, I think, it's a function of leadership on some level as to how much they make the case to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. Oh, wait.
Sorry.
I was wondering. I thought that was a strong response.
No.
You're about to. Because you guys are grifters.
We knew Cruz won a while ago, right?
What's that?
Didn't we know Cruz won a while ago?
No, I didn't.
Okay, but for your question, you're saying how do you get the public on board with your fight for better pay and pay equity? That's the question?
Yeah, but with equal with UPS.
I think there's some real questions about, I've heard from a lot of postal workers that union leadership is not great.
Yes.
I don't know, but that's what I've heard from a lot of our listeners. And
I'm hoping you can talk to fellow carriers like Tyler.
Yeah, I think we're
and
going to.
Corey.
We're going to have some people
I know.
on.
I know you said so. I'm sorry.
No, no. But I think, one of the ways to get the public is for them to do media and for reform movement in the postal, in that union.
Yeah.
Where, leadership is more aggressive about getting the public behind them.
And I'm trying my best on Long Island in my own post office. They're pretty good for me in my own office, and my management's really nice. But I know because I worked as a CCA.
Yeah.
And CCA it's a second tier, and we have 2 tables in our union, and it's rough for the second table.
I've heard there's some problems with that, but
And they've combined it. Yeah.
I think no. Look, we say talking about it in these contexts, emailing, getting on our show, other shows, it's a big deal. But appreciate it. Thank you, Ty. Thanks for coming.
Thanks so much. Well, Decision Desk, which has been kind of getting shit on tonight, rightly so, but they still have Osborne up in Nebraska. So 40% in, it's around, he's near 53% of 47% for Deb Fisher. So there's still some hope there at least, but we'll see. We'll see.
Let's go to, let's see here. Tom from Yakubia, Section C, front row.
Indeed I am. Sam, I wanted to know what happened to that Senate race you were supposed to run, that boutique campaign in 2022 against Charles
The
Schumer.
Senate race against Chuck Schumer?
Yeah, what the hell?
I chose not to do it to spend more time with my family.
I see.
2028's not far away, though. Thank you for the question, Tom.
Pat Ryan, Democrat, has won in New York 18.
That's great.
That's a flip, right?
No,
No.
Pat Ryan has been there for a while.
Okay.
There was he was 19 and then it turned into 18. He ran on Social Security and abortion. His opponent, Esposito, had said that the Supreme Court was right. She was the one who, she had said to a news person who was following her door knocking, nobody cares about abortion in
that's
this
the one.
district. First door they knock on, guy comes out and goes, I'm really concerned about abortion.
Yeah. I confuse him with the other generic white guy named Pat, not Pat Riley, but Josh Riley. Josh Riley.
No section, but this question comes from Hulu Bulu to Matt Binder.
What?
Please speak on the correlation between Vince McMahon, the rise of WWE superstars, and storylines as it relates to Trump and his ability to captivate 50% of the American public as the greatest heel of all time. Are we about to go from attitude to ruthless aggression?
Wow, a lot of insider terms there. I mean, this is Donald Trump has that natural charisma, unfortunately, that is sort of the it factor for pro wrestlers. Doesn't matter how good of an athlete you are, or how good of a wrestler, like a legit a mat wrestler you are. If you got that it factor in wrestling, you will become a big star. Take Triple H, for example. Not the greatest in anything, really, but he's got charisma. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was good, but not a great wrestler, but he had loads of charisma. The Rock, same thing there. I think the best example of a complete shit wrestler who just had lots of natural charisma is fucking Hulk Hogan. I mean, that's what Donald Trump has, unfortunately. He's not very good at anything. He knows nothing about politics in the same way Hulk Hogan doesn't know how to do anything but a big boot to the face and a leg drop. But, he's got that natural charisma that draws people in. And I think that's the most basic thing about it, I guess. I mean, Vince McMahon, look at everything he's going through. And you still have people who give him the props for creating the modern day pro wrestling industry. It's the same thing that you see with Donald Trump. Everything you hear about him, but they're willing to put it aside to give him the chance to make America great again, I guess. I mean, Donald Trump is, pro wrestling, I should say, is the embodiment of what we're going through right now. Yeah.
I guess that was a serious question.
Yeah. USA, yeah. Oh my God. He's gonna be Elon Musk is going to be insufferable if this does not go, if this goes the way it's looking like it may go. I don't even know.
I'm not ready to believe it.
I don't even know.
I'm not ready.
I mean, my map is just out the window now. It's just whether she wins or loses now, right? I mean...
Well, I guess the question also is what is the value of the ground game? Was there an overestimation of the ground game in 2024 when everything's online?
It's very difficult to assess.
And we're making too early proclamations, but that was part of what gave me confidence was the number of volunteers and employees she had in her ground game versus Donald Trump having basically none and outsourcing it to Elon Musk. are those traditional metrics overestimated in a very online, information-saturated age is also a question we will be asking ourselves. No, that's not a good thing.
No, Tim Kaine just.
Sorry. I'm not relaxed, obviously.
Stephanie sitting in the front row. My friends at home are saying the live feed camera on Sam and Emma is blurry. Just checked it myself and have noticed the same.
What?
Wait,
Huh?
what?
Well, that one's blurry, but yours is not.
Oh.
Give it away.
Webcam, what?
Yours is a little bit more zoomed in. Swipe that guy.
Gave the people
Oh,
what
the
they
calves,
wanted, huh?
calves don't come out till much later.
Okay, we have. I finally have some good news. Okay, Eugene Vindman, who people may remember as it relates to the first Trump impeachment. This was the frontline Virginia district. He's gonna win in Virginia.
What's the, do we know by what percentage?
We don't know by what percentage.
So this is a district, Virginia's 7th, that Spanberger won in 2020 by almost 2 points, not quite. I'm sorry, excuse me, almost a point, not quite, 0.8. So if they're calling it
Yeah.
for Vindman, that's a pretty good sign as to what's going on in Virginia anyways.
Well, she's already won Virginia, but it just means like that is a House seat that the Democrats are
Right.
going to maintain. Okay.
What is Virginia's 2nd looking like? Do you know?
I'm going to check now.
Let's put Kanaki on here.
Quickly decided within the margins here. The Republicans have been winning it since 2008, not in landslide margins. So when you have a 1 point swing towards Trump and a 1 point swing away from the Democrats, and you keep seeing that all over the place, boy, that really does start to add up. Even in a place here, 3/4 of the vote in Guilford County, where Greensboro is. This is part of the triad. This is one of the big Democratic vote-producing counties. But again, Biden was over 60% of the vote here, at nearly 61% of the vote in 2020. What's still to come in Guilford County is that Republican favoring a same-day vote. So you're really starting to see this lead that Trump has right here. The ingredients that are going into it are the ingredients he needed coming into the night. We'll just check in there. Coming into the night to have a good night in North Carolina. Take a trip down to Georgia. 86% of the vote counted now. Trump's margin over 153,000 votes. Remember, he lost this by about 12,000 last time around. We've been keeping an eye on Fulton County. Democrats need gains there. They can't afford any slippage. The same-day votes being counted up here, and now you can see it. Harris has fallen more than a point below where Biden finished in 2020. Trump's improved by more than a point here. A county this size, well over 1 million people here. That is a significant shift there, and with more same-day to come, that may get even worse for Democrats right there. You could take a look at Douglas County. Cobb County again. We still have vote to come in here, but Harris now basically falling back to Biden's level, the potential to slip even further there. Up here, again, I won't take you through the individual counties, but in North Georgia, this is just the overwhelming Republican part of the state, and this story is being repeated in county after county. Trump is performing better. He won these things by 75 points or so in 2020. He's performing even better in these counties. So look, just zoom out here and look at the implications of this potentially if this continues with the votes that are still to come in Georgia, North Carolina. I say this as a very, very big if here, but if you just play this out to let you know about the implications here, if Trump gets Georgia and if Trump gets North Carolina, okay, and there's no other surprises outside of the battlegrounds, and we already saw Iowa called. That was one of the potential surprises people were thinking about. With those two states, Trump would move probably to 251 expected electoral votes. And how many electoral votes are in Pennsylvania? The answer is 19. So if in the remaining votes in North Carolina and Georgia, Donald Trump is able to lock down victories in those states, I say if, but based on what I'm showing you, there's reason for hope for the Trump folks that that could happen. If Trump wins those 2 states, he'd be at probably 251, and likely in that scenario, if he could get Pennsylvania, that would get him to 270. Now, Pennsylvania, still a scramble here. 57% of the vote is in. Because check in here on Luzerne County. We continue to get more vote out of here. This is one of the key bellwethers we're using because this is Northeast Pennsylvania. Boy, there's a ton of vote in here, and this is the area the Trump campaign said they're going to improve on 2020 here. Again, 2/3 of the vote in now. Trump is ticking up closer to that 2020 level here. So keep an eye on that and the rest of the state. But Pennsylvania, just given what we're seeing in Georgia and North Carolina, increasingly taking center stage right here as one that the Harris campaign has always wanted, felt they needed. If Trump gets Georgia and Trump gets North Carolina, then Pennsylvania becomes an absolute must for Democrats.
Steve, we've got a projection to make. NBC News is making a projection in the presidential race in Nebraska.
Every time Rachel Maddow tells us to stay calm,
in Nebraska,
you finish your drink,
the electoral votes are allotted by congressional district. So I need to be specific here. NBC News is projecting that Donald Trump will win overall the state of Nebraska in the presidential contest. But at this point, NBC News is only comfortable attributing 3 of the 5 electoral votes in Nebraska to Donald Trump. Again, they will go congressional district by congressional district. There is still a chance here that although Trump is winning the state, that Harris may get an electoral vote or 2 out of the state. So we will watch 3 of the 5 electoral votes in Nebraska projected to go to Donald Trump per NBC News. Joining us now from Reno, Nevada, which is Washoe County, Nevada, is NBC's Steve Patterson. Steve, I understand that even though we've got the polling places in Nevada closed as of 10 p.m. Eastern, closed as of more than 30 minutes ago, you still got wicked long lines there.
Yeah, those frozen margs up front.
Oh, fuck yeah, dog.
Yeah,
I
the
would have
polls
got
are
you one.
closed, so why does it still sound like 4 o'clock in the
They
afternoon?
can't hear this, right?
Everyone
This
is
is
No, they
private.
absolutely
In fact,
cannot.
I can show you the line
that's
here.
frozen.
That's
This
a
is,
straight
again,
beta
the
drink,
county,
and you're
sort of
happy to
county
sip it.
administration building, all the different county offices.
Thank God
are
they
here.
can't
You
hear
see the
this.
line, this line,
But
maybe
yeah.
about 30,
I feel
40
like we
minutes.
should create fake
This
drama
is one
between
of the
you and
good
I.
ones.
Just
Oh my
Rachel,
God.
the county
Let's go.
registrar
Let's go.
just gave a news update to the press, sort of talking about what lines look like after the polls
drinking
closed.
a little
There
bit
are
of
10
tequila
plus
and
sites
soda,
in the
not too
county with an hour plus
If
wait,
anyone wants
and
to
one
get him
of
a
them
drink,
is the
however,
University of
I
Nevada,
had to do
Reno,
that, so
which
you
is
can all be
reporting
next
a
in line. We'll have a
3-hour
little-
wait. It is
we'll have a little next in line over
7:35
here, right?
now, 35 minutes after polls have closed.
that?
Now, here are the problems
People
that
wanted
come
to
with
buy
this.
you a drink.
Mail-in ballots,
Oh, no,
early voting,
I,
all of that stuff has been counted since 8
Come
o'clock this
on.
morning. So all of that
Come
is
on,
being
Sam,
processed.
just relax.
It's going through. But in-person votes
Should
that
Sam
were
hit the
cast
vape? I
today
got a
that are
vape
still
here.
being cast, those cannot be counted until the last
Wait, wait,
person
wait.
in Nevada has
That's not
voted.
the-
And
is that the
we won't
Delta
know
9
any of the
Sunset Lake
data
CBD?
until the last
Vape,
person
vape,
in Nevada has voted, which
vape,
means
vape.
we won't know anything.
Sam, you gotta hit the vape.
I will say
0%
this,
reporting
that
until at
the
least
stream
3 hours
tonight,
from now, because we're also hearing this is
sponsored by
happening in other places
Sunset
around
Lake
the state.
Seven.
So,
Seven.
not good news if you like sleep.
And-
I mean, great
And
news if you're a
sometimes
fan
it's
of
not
coffee.
strong enough.
Steve, just to be clear,
Because you guys, I've been in the toilet
long
stall.
lines there. If we are still
Because you guys are
as you said,
grifters.
at 3 hours. We're already
have
more than a half an
CBD
hour
on
past when polls are supposed to close in
If
Nevada.
you use
If we're
coupon
looking at
code
3 hour
Left is
plus
Best,
lines, just to totally underscore what you're
tonight
saying, the
only,
state will not
you will
report
not
a
only get
single
20% off.
vote. They will not report
Every
any
purchase,
data at all
they
until
will
the last
donate
person has
$5.
voted. So even if they've got a lot of stuff tallied, they've been working all day.
we're going to probably end up matching what they do there. To UNRWA, United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine, donations are going to be split between Gaza and Lebanon's emergency appeal funds.
Well, that's all sponsored by Russia. That's a wonderful idea, but you know, I'm not sure they're not paid for by the Russians.
The most disturbing impression that you do.
I'm not sure what you're saying. But look, you have me to thank for getting Joe Biden out the race. Okay, you're welcome, America.
Would you read this in your Nancy Pelosi voice? That bottom part there. Those last two.
Again, tonight only. Head over to Sunset Lake CVD.com. Use the code left is best. I used to be a leftist. I have signs in my basement collecting dust about leftism. All one word, left is best, 20% off, and help raise money for the Russian-backed protesters of Palestine and the Lebanese families who I deeply care about, but also I live in Pacific Heights. Pacific Heights for specific whites. I'm Nancy Pelosi. Yes. Thank you. What is Nancy doing tonight? Like, I love drinking. Wait, what is it? What's the gross thing that Ted Cruz was doing? Or grooming? What was that thing? Gooning.
Oh, he's gooning?
I will never Google this. I want you to know. Hell yeah. How's Biden doing in Fulton County? I'm so glad we have an independent media. Everyone who used to work in the Biden administration. I fucking love it. Okay, are we unmuting Simone Sanders?
Or
Or
go to CNN, Bradley.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so true story. One time I told the makeup artist at MSNBC to put more makeup on Rachel Maddow. No, specifically I was like, you could do more with her lips. And I'm not proud, but also, don't we agree? And there's someone wearing a Bituation Room t-shirt, and I fucking love you, Doug. Yeah, give it up for the Frantifa right now. Everybody listening. Thank you.
Oh!
Question? What's? Come on up. What's the question? I know you've raised your hand a bunch. What's that? Brian, can we
Hey, where'd Brian go? Brian.
head up to the microphone?
Is this like a Maury situation? Sam, you gotta proselytize.
Sweet Emma Majority shirt.
Yeah.
Emma Majority shirt.
Woo!
I low-key,
Wait, what's your name?
oh, Todd from Raleigh.
Todd from Raleigh. Okay.
I also brought something as like a wedding
Oh,
gift
for Emma.
Wait, let's wait till she comes,
Why,
yeah?
why'd you raise your hand when she's not even here?
Yeah, hold on.
I don't know, I got excited.
Hold on.
Hold on, here she comes.
She's going to be so excited about this.
Hey, yo, Emma.
Emma.
Shrek is.
You're about to be value-tained.
In terms of my neurological capacity.
Okay, but do you have a separate
I do
Emma?
have an actual question.
Okay, actual question.
There's been reports of
Go into the microphone a little bit more.
There's been reports of a lot of false bomb threats being called into predominantly black districts, especially in Georgia. What do you think could be the chilling effect in terms of this election, and how will that chilling effect roll over into future elections?
I mean, I would imagine it would have some, at least in this election. In future elections, maybe it can cut both ways, I think. When there's been attempts to disenfranchise voters, a lot of times that inspires people to get out and vote. But also, I'd be nervous about it.
I guess what concerns me is it's happening in predominantly, oh, there she is, red states. Should be less enforcement of it. Yeah, congratulations on getting engaged and whatnot.
Shrek is Hezbollah. Shrek is Hezbollah.
Oh my God!
Whoa!
You need a tongue bath, and I'm your guy.
Wow!
Todd from Raleigh.
Shrek is Hezbollah.
Please let us win.
That's amazing.
Wait, play that again?
That's amazing.
Shrek is Hezbollah.
I think Triumph, the comic insult dog, said, this is more white people than at a Rangers game. Oh my God. Give it up.
Oh!
Yes. Yes.
I will wear it on ESPN, and thank you so much.
Did
That's
you hear the
amazing.
question? Did you want to
not.
answer?
I did not. I was hyperventilating backstage. Half joke.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the question? No?
It's okay.
Okay. All right, we're having fun.
It was at this time of the night that the mariachi band in 2016 was consoling me about the loss, but I still maintain hope. But Pennsylvania fell in that situation.
We still have the
But it
blue.
wasn't as bad as Sam's interview, I think the day before. Was that...
John
95
McCain's brain tumor has emailed. Hey Sam, hey Emma, how you feeling, Bell House? Just want to remind people that no matter what happens tonight, John McCain is still dead. Rush Limbaugh is still dead. And get of all gets, Henry Alfred Kissinger still rotting in hell. Good night, everyone. Ashley, Section B.
Ashley, section this bitch. Sorry.
Ashley is.
Ashley is getting a drink refill.
All right.
Ashley.
Come on,
All right, well, Harris does win one electoral vote, the 1st congressional district in Maine, which should have never been in question, but there you go.
Section A, standing by the bar, Teacher Brian.
Teacher Brian, here he comes. He took off his jacket for this one. He is at about a 5'9", but jacked and quite a nice mustache. Here he comes.
Thank you.
Oh!
5'9" is on my dating profile, so.
Because he's not afraid, because he knows what that means. In the sack.
Teacher Brian, where are you from?
Stanford,
Stanford, Connecticut.
Sorry that you chose me. I think I'm going to bring everyone down a little bit. So I'm a teacher. I'm a government teacher. I'm a human rights teacher.
Fuck yeah.
Hope there's a lot of teachers in here, but listen, I have a lot of students who are Latino. One of my favorite students didn't speak any English her freshman year. She didn't say any words. When she got to know English, her personality came out. She's one of the most amazing kids that I've ever known. Better humor than any of us. If Trump wins, it's her family that they go after.
Yep.
And I know that we're having a great time here tonight, but I'm thinking of her. And I'm thinking of all my students like her. That's not really related to my question. My question is, I guess it is about
Okay, humble brag about being a public servant or whatever.
Well, so what are we doing about the young men?
Yeah.
Because 2 years ago, I was fighting the fight. They love Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
They love these fucking assholes. Sorry. What do we do? I mean, these are students who are voting for Trump. They come in, they're waving the Trump flag. We did a little mock election, and 600 kids voted, and Kamala Harris in Stanford, Connecticut, won by 12 or 15 votes.
Okay.
But
Not enough.
not good.
And it's the
How do we-
the boys that you would say are most pro-Trump.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
He's all on Aiden Ross's stream and like all of these online I mean, I think you're exactly right.
I've told this story before, but I had this conversation with my 11-year-old son. So I guess about a year ago. He says to me, he goes, "Hey, Dad, who's the most overrated singer? Who do you think is the most overrated singer?" And I was like, "I don't know, like Phil Collins." And he said,
Oh!
totally not the point of the story. And he goes, "I think it's Taylor Swift." And I'm like, "Okay, you should talk to Emma, because Emma thinks Taylor Swift."
Are we gonna have to go on Taylor Swift right now?
I said, why do you think that? And he says, and I'm surprised, because I know the music he listens to, and it's like 3 different music. One's like Jake on YouTube. I have no idea. And I'm like, "Why do you say that?" And he's like, "All her songs sound the same." And I'm like, "All right." And he says, "And she's ruining the NFL." And I'm like,
Your
"Dude,"
son said this to you.
I'm like, "You've seen 2 football games. One was live with me, and the other was half a Patriots game. What are you talking about?" He's like, "When they're doing the game, all the camera always goes to her." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You've never seen a game in your life. Where'd you hear this?" And he says, "YouTube." And I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like,
Algorithm is fucking up Saul Cedar. Are you kidding me?
exactly.
To the barricades, people.
I mean, it's a problem. It's a second order problem. If Trump wins, the first order becomes protecting your other student there, frankly, and her family. And like, what lengths are we going to go to protect those people? In the event that Trump loses, I think there's got to be there's always been this sort of like problem broadly, the liberal left versus the right, which is the compensation structure. I'm not even talking about actual like payments, but like people who make arguments in the political space on the left and liberal left, they want a certain amount of prestige and respect from their peers, and it's more academic. And the fact is, you got to go and roll around in the mud a little bit with some of the piggies. And honestly, that's the only way I think that you can get in there. And there, it's just within the psyche of the liberal left, there's not enough
Hassan's.
good compensation for that.
Hassan's.
Yeah, Hassan is a good example of somebody who will do it.
Well, I mean, I am interested in like what the left side of the male wing of the night is thinking about this, because I do think it is.
Oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
No, he seems like a cool guy, though.
Oh, super cool.
I feel like he could be an example for these young guys. I mean, I'm getting cool guy vibes right here.
Yeah.
So I feel like you could be a role model. I mean, you're kind of a role model for me already. I kind of want to look like that guy. But that's my take. So.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that you don't have like a self-aggrandizement complex in which you're a public school teacher. You're not doing YouTube videos about how you work out, because you definitely work out, my guy. I can see you.
Whoa, hey.
And I'm just saying,
Whoa.
but again, you're actually like committing yourself. I think it is a huge problem. And this is my question: is in this electorate, have
Can you get up here on
have
stage?
new
Get him up
Rogan
here.
listeners been born at a fast enough rate to vote versus women who don't want their reproductive rights and their healthcare rights stripped away from them? And my calculation is with Emma, it is not fast enough. The Rogan element is not fast enough to catch up with the many women and men who are like, absolutely not. This is unconscionable. But the male fragility question is a question. I mean, I think it's broadly about masculinity. It's broadly about, like, women. We got Chapel Roan out in here. You know, we have these amazing, like, bisexual icon or you know, gay icons, and we're just like loving it and we're living it. And I'm straight as shit, you know, like, and men need that, and so it's like, yeah, where are those figures? Culturally, we don't always have them. We got your fucking Tony Hinchcliffes. I'm a comic, you know? And there's a backlash that you see in stand-up comedy as well that is absolutely a reflection of the political culture, which is the anti-woke, you know, make fun of the most vulnerable is what sells. But I don't think that is what's going to continue to sell. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'll say this, and this is the longest response ever. Sorry?
Befriend more women.
Well, I mean,
make them come. Find the clit, number one. Sorry.
Here, I'll say this. You know, I bristle when people say that, like, abortion issues are not material, right? Because for someone like Francesca or for myself, they are. But beyond this election, and the returns are not what I anticipated, I thought they'd be driving up numbers better with women. The Democrats do have to reckon with the fact that they're not offering a ton materially for young men, right? And
but what are, I mean, that's the question. What are you supposed to offer? Like, and that's an interesting question for men. It's like, what are you supposed to offer other than, here's an economic platform that won't trigger you because it deliberately targets women or people of color. Like, how are you to onboard them onto this cause?
There is this whole notion of, you know, young men in our society do have to, they have the expectation of being a breadwinner, but not necessarily the economic opportunity to do that. And I don't think it's something that can be discounted. So basically, the Democrats have to be a little bit more progressive. I was hopeful that maybe if Harris got elected, right, like, she could implement those kinds of policies. But
whoa, I don't
we'll
like that talk.
We'll see. And maybe. We'll see at this point. But I think it's a fair question.
I think a lot of it is economic. I mean, Lindsey Ballant posted a poll from Nevada, and maybe this is not true of the rest of the country, but families' financial situation today, better than 4 years ago, 22%, worse than 4 years ago, 48%, about the same, 29%. I think when things start crunching, then these identity aspects, that's how people understand it. Even though it's wrong, it's I'm failing as a man because I can't find a place to rent. Like, we are driving people to the screws right now economically. Like, the economy might look better. I don't trust that. I've tried to rent recently. And I think that sort of thing is leading to all these different pathologies along all sorts of different lines.
I think it's definitely exacerbating it. And there, you know, I mentioned this the other day. Fed report that came out, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, sort of gave some big clues, if not direct responses, to the idea that the economy's numbers can look good in the context of how we've measured them in the past, but because of massive wealth inequality, it distorts those numbers in the same way that, you know, me and Bill Gates in the same room, the average guy has, whatever, $70 billion. But it's going to be a long-term project. I think younger people, hopefully, when people of the age you're talking about get closer to these guys' ages, and maybe even mine, it'll be a different context in which they're, you know, looking at YouTube or whatever it is. But for me, part of it is just getting to that era.
I mean, this is the appeal of
And
Bernie Sanders.
We'll
What?
see. But
I don't know. When we're talking about young men specifically, I don't think those particular issues are on the forefront of their mind when we're talking about like the Trump supporting young guys. Like there is a contingent of young men in this country who are literally bothered by the fact that their identity is not first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like they are actually pissed off about it. And somehow they come across as the tough guy, like bravado type thing, and I don't get that. Like, it's just there's a misunderstanding between like just a certain personality of type of young men in this country that is literally bothered to hear that like women or LGBTQ people or literally anyone who isn't a straight white male is being put first and foremost. And it's the most pussy-ass bullshit I've ever heard in my life. The fact that they're the ones calling people soy boys and beta males is the most ridiculous thing in my life. The fact that my identity as a straight white male is not first and foremost, I could not give a fucking shit.
Yeah.
What cuck-ass behavior that is for any of you guys out there who feel that way.
Did you
Seriously.
just say cunt-ass behavior?
Cuck-ass
Oh, okay, because
behavior.
I was about to defend.
So
I was about to defend cunt-ass behavior. But I feel you. Are you feel comfortable with all that?
Yeah, I feel that.
all right,
Good answer.
appreciate the question.
Yes, thank you.
Cool guy alert.
If inequality doesn't get better, none of that's going to get better.
Adam Schiff will be the next senator from California to know.
Ooh, watermelon head?
As a Californian, fuck Adam Schiff forever.
Yeah.
Seriously though.
Kamala has won California, which it will be a big. At least the map looks a little bit better in terms of totals when we have that on the docket. So.
Let's hear what they're saying on CNN about Pennsylvania here. Now it's Georgia. Maybe head over to
Percent of the
see what
vote.
Kornacki-
Donald Trump with a.
Jennifer, Section C. Kamala T-shirt. Red mask.
Jennifer, she is a first-time question asker. She's making her way down to the front of the stage while she had to get her drink, but also make sure she is safe from all of the bacteria like COVID-19, which actually is a virus. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, so I'm a journalist and I'm a media literacy educator. So what's on my mind a lot right now is disinformation. We know it's going to flood the zone. We know that Trump has been saying for weeks, if not months, that there is no possible way he can lose. The only way he loses is if the Democrats have stolen it. This is, months before the election. So in those moments when, like right now, it's not what we had hoped, 6 out of 7 swing states for us, but there is still very much a chance that we win this. We were told for weeks now that it might take days, if not a week or two, to know the results. What I'm wondering, I have some ideas about this, but I'm wondering also what you all think about the best ways for us as a community, as well as folks who have podcasts, journalists, whatever, to challenge the disinformation that we know is about to start tonight, right?
Well,
Oh gosh.
I mean, I hope we're in the position that they're attempting to spread misinformation in the context of Harris
Right.
winning. I mean,
Right.
that's honestly, that's the first order thing. I think my sense is that in the event that Harris wins, there is more, I think there's just more vigilance about it this time around. And without Trump having the power as the sitting president, I'm a little bit less concerned in the event that Harris wins. With that said, I worry about the idea of like a presumption and it going to something like the Supreme Court or, you know, like I said earlier in the night. You know, I think largely the answer for a lot of these things is organizing, developing relationships, being able to talk to people in your neighborhoods, in your towns, in your communities, and taking it seriously. You know, I think like, you know, broadly speaking, there's a lot of people who don't pay attention to this stuff. And, you know, I gave that example of the AP running the story about a dolphin.
Sure.
Again, love dolphins, but a dolphin on a beach in New Jersey does not warrant the same amount of time as tomorrow there's an election. Like, it just doesn't.
Well, right. And also, of course, horse race coverage over policy issues, always a problem. But what I'm talking about is our responsibility, both, not just those of us who have platforms in terms of journalism or podcasts, but every single one of us here, all of the listeners, what are things that we can do? And I can suggest some if you want, but that we can each do to lower the temperature, to not share and amplify disinformation, which requires air to breathe and spread?
I mean, I like to think that nobody here purposely spreads misinformation. And I think, you know, people should take the time to, you know, validate what they're promoting. I mean, I think, like, you know, in the context of our show, that's a big deal to us, because the value proposition to our show, aside from, like, you know, opinions and interviews and whatnot, is that we actually make an effort to understand what we're talking about.
Right.
Do we make mistakes? Yes. But, you know, I was just down in West Virginia talking to Tim Pool, and the guy's espousing shit about Social Security after reading one article.
Yeah.
And he admits it to me. And I'm like, dude, this is half of what the government does. You're gonna read one fucking article and then and talk about it? I mean, it's insane to me. But
Shrek is Hezbollah.
That was supposed to be a
I mean, everyone just like little applause for Sam Cedar for going to debate Tim Pool on a fucking Friday.
We should apologize to Russia. We should apologize to Russia.
But you know, look, I think people need to make an effort to assess, and you know, it's hard. Like, I mean, I think like it would be great if there was a platform that developed that was an alternative to Twitter that was like sustainable, and we'll see what happens after the election, one way or another. You know, it has a critical mass, and it's turned into a shit show.
Structurally, for sure. So some suggestions, I think what you're saying is so important, and the way some of the suggestions to do that ascertaining, you want to fact check every single time. It only takes a minute to go to Google to try and find a legitimate source for the thing that you're seeing on socials, whether it's a meme, whether it's a video, whether it's a deep fake potentially.
Yeah.
You know, find out what the AP has said. Find out what Reuters has said. Find out what Color of Change has said.
I agree. I mean, I think, and I appreciate the comments, but I think, like, thank you. But the key is to, you know, become more critical consumer of media.
Yep.
And as people project out, I'm going to put a link that actually is like a first order source. It can, won't necessarily, create an environment where more people feel obligated to do that. But appreciate it. Thank you.
Can I just like mention that I feel like Matt Binder, you mentioned a little bit of like how Donald Trump kind of fucked your career, you know, like fucked up shit. And like Donald Trump and COVID, that bitch, fucked up my entire career and life, you know. I had a special on MSNBC, never forget. In 2019, right? It was all about healthcare, it was on the precipice. It was like long form, whatever. Then COVID happens, then it's a re-election campaign. what happens when Trump is reelected is it flattens not only our social movements to actually get shit done, but also our media landscape. And just to name how robbed we have been of the shades of blue that we all experience and support and here tonight, and you with your Kamala shirt, but also we're on a progressive leftist show, like that having a fascist in power does. And so I'm just naming that dynamic as something that is, yes, deeply disempowering and enraging, and also why we, even the CPUSA, Communist Party USA, votes Kamala. This is the space we fight for, to have another day, to have more shades of blue, more wins legislatively. So yeah, I don't know. Now Binder's not paying attention to me, but you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to fight for what we could have Binder. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa! Just wanted to give an update. New York's 19th congressional district. This is one that was lost in 2022. 90% in, 38,000 votes left. Josh Riley is up by 9,000 votes. It is unclear what is extant at this point. Rensselaer County has 95% in. Molinaro is winning that one. Green, Molinaro's winning big, but still 4% extant. Columbia County, Riley winning by 10 points, 5% extant. It's going to be tough. It's really going to be very, very close.
All right, well, so here's some decent news so far. Dan Osborne maintains his lead with 47% reporting in Nebraska. And if we're going to lose Sherrod Brown, and if this is the 50th vote, I would much prefer Dan Osborne versus frickin' Joe Manchin as like a true independent, but somebody who's for the working class and for unions, as opposed to for corporations like Joe Manchin.
He's good on abortion, and he's good on unions. It's like
he just doesn't want to associate himself with the National Democratic brand for obvious reasons.
Same.
But hear you. But he still has to hold on, and there's a lot of counties that are extant in Nebraska.
Sam's pointing at Kornacki excitedly.
All right, here we go.
No, I'm sorry. I misread it. That was actually an unexcitedness.
What?
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask a question.
Okay. Who are you? Where you come from?
My name is Michael Lawrence, and I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Toronto, Canada, but I live in Brooklyn, New York.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
Toronto via Brooklyn. What's up, Michael?
I was wondering how you guys feel about Kamala's approach to Gaza, and specifically the fact that a lot of media organizations kind of pretend like it's not as big of a thing as it is, compared to how a lot of voters feel about it, and the fact that, the election's going how it is, the stock market's saying Trump, and I'm just curious how you feel about it all.
Unhappy, I would say. I mean,
one of the first things I'd point to.
Yeah.
We're going to have a better sense down the road how much this hurt her. I think we have always speculated that it was going to hurt her electorally.
Yeah.
As a policy matter, I'm much more upset about it as a policy matter electorally. If it had helped her, then I want her to win. But as a policy matter, horrible. I don't know what she could have done as vice president. But as a candidate, I think she could have done a lot more. We'll see. The theory of the case does not look particularly good right now.
I'll just say Hubert Humphrey gave his speech calling for a bombing halt in Vietnam on September 30th, and then saw a swing in the polls 20 points in his favor. Harris didn't do any of that, and we are where we are.
And to add to that, Harris, it looks like, according to Niraj Warako of the Detroit Free Press, that Harris won't win the south end of Dearborn. It's a 90+% Muslim area. Biden won with 88% of the vote 4 years ago. We anticipated that that would be the case.
Yeah.
I think, the reality is that Harris is complicit, of course, in the genocide of Palestinians. I mean, Biden, though, is the driver of that policy with his multi-decade-long racist views about Palestinians, which are well documented. I think she's the best of two options with Donald Trump as it relates to that issue. But how can you make that case if she refuses to kind of break from Biden on that very topic electorally? So
Absolutely.
that's the problem is like, sorry?
Oh, that was me. I said absolutely.
Okay, the problem is just that, even if she were to be better, it doesn't really matter because we're hyper-focused on the election and we're looking at some of these gradations of like, oh, I think Phil Gordon is better than, Jake Sullivan and Antony Blinken. Most voters aren't looking at it in that same way.
Didn't Ronald Reagan stop bombing? No, didn't Ronald Reagan
Whoa! In Lebanon.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
AIPAC has absolutely taken control of our politics. That's
Absolutely, that's
true.
all I'm saying. I'm a leftist, but
No, I think people might have been. They called Ohio for Moreno. Yeah, people might have been reacting to Bernie Moreno being projected as the winner against Sherrod Brown.
They're saying Brown lost, if you didn't hear. Yeah.
That's really, I was so confident that that would not happen. Well, no, I was completely wrong that Sherrod Brown would maintain that seat. So that is super concerning. And now
All right.
Bob Casey's down in Pennsylvania, so.
It's not looking good, folks.
Bob Casey is?
Hey, all of you shut that.
Fod in section B has a question. Let's lift up the vibe.
Whoa! Oh!
Fod, you want to ask a question?
Disgusting and probably illegal. God bless you. God bless
real
you.
conversations.
Fod, where you come from?
Seattle.
Seattle.
Let's do a mileage. Who's the furthest?
What is your question?
My question is, Bradley, how are you? Persian. I'm messing with him. Pendejo. Where am I going to get asylum when Trump wins? And who's going to pay for it?
I mean...
Should I go back west or should I go east to Europe?
West or east for asylum for Fod? Let's keep hope alive. You said let's lift up the vibe.
Exactly. That's what you're doing. That's all I'm thinking about.
Look, the blue wall states are still very much in contention, so we're doomering
Anybody
here,
flown here further away than Seattle?
There we go.
Hawaii,
Hawaii, not in the house. All right, Fod.
No,
Thanks.
seriously.
Brooklyn, you'll be safe here.
Jersey, that's what Dean Obeidallah says. Nobody's going to look there, so I'm thinking there.
Chelsea. Massachusetts in the house.
There we go.
Ryan, this question goes out to Emma. Fun question. What's your beef with Taylor Swift? Please explain. I want to understand.
No, it's not a beef. It's just that, I feel like...
Didn't mean a whole lot, did it?
Yeah. I don't understand why she has to insert herself into like political conversations about being the political kingmaker. I mean, it's quite clear it didn't make a ton of difference so far. So, sorry?
7-0. Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. in the season, yeah, they're best defense in the league.
Eli, Section B. Oh, there we go. Eli, where are you from?
Hi. So yeah, Eli from Jersey, occasional horrible IMer. Hello. Yes, hang on, I'm gonna try being the first Jersey person to not be awful in forever.
Whoa!
I got some notes here, hang on. Be weird to I'm just gonna move on from that. No, I just have an interesting story from working at the polls today to lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was probably around 9:30 this morning. I just see a woman storming out of the poll place, which is again run by like old retirees, and just going, "These people are fucking rude. I'm never voting again," and storms out of the building. And for hours, I was like, I can't picture what caused that.
Right.
So yeah, that's all. I wanted everyone to.
Where were you working the polls? In Jersey?
Yeah, in Maplewood, where I'm
Oh,
from.
no way.
Whoa!
Maplewood, I know well.
Essex County.
Represent. Maplewood's a beautiful town. Yes, it is. And look, Andy Kim. So there's a bright spot that was never.
Whoa!
Oh, God.
You have a question? Come up to the microphone.
It's not a question.
What?
It's not real a question.
Speak right into the microphone if you could.
If it's a remark, you can do that too.
A mark?
A remark.
A remark. I'm looking for the mark on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a hello.
Right into the microphone. Yeah, that's great. You got to lean right into it.
I'm Meredith. I called you a couple of weeks ago.
Meredith, yeah. Where are you from?
From upstate. But
Meredith from upstate.
Yes. I called in a couple of weeks ago, and I told you that I owed you an apology for being rude to you one time, like 21 years ago. And here I am.
Wait, you were rude to me 21 years ago?
Whoa! Oh!
It was at the screening
All
in
right,
the East Village.
turn your mic like this so I can hear you.
It was at a screening in the East Village for, I couldn't think of the guy's name, Robert Greenwald movie.
Robert Greenwald?
Yeah, a Greenwald movie, right? Didn't he do documentaries, political documentaries?
Yeah, 21 years ago?
Yeah, it was, or 20, it was,
Approximately 20 years ago, you were rude to me at a screening.
Because you said too much.
I what?
Because I was mad at you because you said all the time.
Well, I feel like...
Don't you remember my phone call?
Just in case you didn't hear, Meredith said she was rude to me because I say too much.
Too much.
And...
So it sounds like you were asking for it.
Yeah. I will say I've been consistent.
But you promised me on the phone 2 weeks ago that you would try tonight not to say it so much.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. I have no recollection of that.
Well, I
have no
can tell
recollection
you,
of the first or the second incident you're referring to.
Well, but I can tell you you've done very well tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. I want to stay longer to be with all you guys, but I have to go throw up. So.
Totally understand.
I'm so jealous.
Totally understand. I mean, nausea is appropriate, I think, at this point in the evening.
Well, I can give, I think, a positive update. Okay, so the Democrats have their first flip apparently of the evening. John Mannion in New York 22nd has won the Democrat.
Mannion was the opponent of Brandon Williams, who was the guy that Mike Johnson was asked a question by a Syracuse University journalist
About the CHIPS Act.
about the CHIPS Act.
Yes.
Johnson said, I expect we would repeal it. And then the Republican was like, and my job is to convince Mike Johnson not to do that.
Yes.
We actually love the CHIPS Act.
So that's a good flip. I mean,
That's pretty fun.
it's strange that there was a sense that I think we had that New York and California might be difficult
Yeah.
and that the Midwest might be easier for Democrats, and it's not working out that way whatsoever.
No, it's looking like the whole theory about pollsters hurting that I completely bought into was not correct. Right now, Trump has now, the Times just called him winning North Carolina. So it's going to come down to the blue wall states and the Sun Belt. The good news is that Harris is doing fine in the blue wall states and overperforming thus far in Arizona. I think she wins Nevada, and like when I look at it and I talk it out loud, if she wins those three blue wall states, she wins the presidency, and then there's the cushion of Nevada and Arizona that we'll see. But still, it's depressing. Like, after all of that, with the late deciders, with the freaking Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden, for it to be this close, with abortion on the ballot, with January 6th, you know, it's gotta, the Democratic Party has to reckon with itself. But if you have a question, pop right up. Yeah.
I like your optimism.
Is that how that came out?
No, I'm not feeling good right now.
No, me neither.
I don't think you're. No, but I think you're. I hope I'm wrong, but I think you're dependent on the blue wall states. It's not. I don't know.
Wisconsin, because
I don't know.
Hey, what's your question?
Hi. Thank you to this young man over here who really assisted me with getting a hold of.
I'm sorry.
the
I'm sorry.
microphone.
What, say again? Right in. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you to this young man right here in the.
Oh, Brian?
Yes.
Let's give it up for Brian!
Amazing. Thank you so much. So first of all, I would like to say I am a New York City public school teacher for the past
What's your
10
name?
years. LaDan. LaDan. It was not a good name to have during 9/11. LOL. Anyway, Sam, I would like to thank you so much because you have been an integral part of my education about American politics. Before that, I was a shit lib. I cried when Obama got elected, like every senior in high school did back then, my age. But you have been a really significant force kind of in how I have viewed the shift in my life about what I care about, what I prioritize locally, internationally, nationally. And so I would really like to thank you for your public service, honestly.
Thank you. I mean, it's.
I've been in the toilet stall.
I'm not done yet.
Because you guys are grifters. Because you guys are grifters.
I'll wrap it up soon. So I am a history teacher. I also was an English teacher for a while. We air you all the time in my AP Government and Politics class. We do balance, don't get my license taken away, we do balance it out with other perspectives.
Right, of course.
Wokeness.
Not garbage, other perspectives. And so I think that, you know, I don't think you realize, I think you do, but you don't realize what an amazing public service you provide just by being so educated in so many things that matter to all of us in our daily lives. Because yes, someone might be listening to you on their podcast, but I play you for like 120 kids on a yearly basis, where you're talking about Social Security, of course, where you're talking about the affirmative action cases. The tour conferences are too boring. They're 16. They don't care about that stuff.
Shrek is Hezbollah.
But I would like to also thank you. One last thing. I'll be done soon. I would also like to thank you for being a really vocal and brave voice for Gaza. I am ethnically Iranian. I grew up in Iran. My parents are both Iranian. And so we grew up just watching what actually happens in Palestine. And when I moved to America, I thought I was going insane. Because people just are like, oh, wait, why is there a lemon tree not being grown together? Why do they have not their keys shared? And I literally thought I was going insane until it was you and Michael that I watched for the first time. And I'm sorry if my voice is breaking, but it really meant a lot to me to have people who are intelligent, who are white, who are Jewish, recognize that there is something fucked up going on there. And so, Sam, thank you so much for everything you've ever done for me personally and my students on the side. They don't know this, but I am thanking you on their behalf as well. 340 of them.
Thank you. That's very sweet. Appreciate it. Probably a good time also, as we start to get into the wee hours here, just to recognize everybody, who makes this show possible, who's made the show possible tonight. Brian helped us out. Where is he? It's been great. Kyle Dunnigan was RFK tonight. We should be bringing back John from San Antonio. But I just want to shout out everybody. Bradley. R.M. Brown. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Matt Binder. Doomed. Of course, Matt Leck. Check out Left Reckoning. Emma, ESPN, and Majority Report.
Shrek is Hezbollah. Shrek is Hezbollah.
Situation Room, Francesca Fiorentini. All right, we got people lined up here. I want to bring back John from San Antonio in a minute.
John.
I don't know if it's going to be pleasant.
He's okay.
I just wanted to thank Isaac and Vincent at the merch table as well for all of their help. Thank you, guys. And thank you to Julie Cedar, who could not be here tonight as well. We couldn't have done this without her.
Woo! Thank you, Julie.
Yeah, I just want to say, my sister, I mentioned this on the show. My mom passed away this weekend. I think probably next week I'll be able to talk about it without getting too upset. But my sister set up a lot of the stuff here. She's obviously now up in Worcester, and we're making plans in the wake of that. So I just wanted to shout her out. She's been doing amazing work here on the show, but also up in All right, this camera's getting a little blurry, I'm being told. Hold on 1 second, then we can, why don't you ask the question? Cut to over here.
We should apologize to Russia. They put my name in these stories to get clicks on
All right,
Google.
he's wearing a Cotopaxi long sleeve, rainbow, but a buzz cut, kind of.
She's an idiot.
I've grown a beard out for a couple
She's an
months.
idiot. She's an idiot.
Hey guys. So first of all, condolences, Sam, from me and my family.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Yuri.
Yuri?
Yeah,
Where
Yuri.
are you from?
I'm from Belarus.
Belarus.
I've been in Brooklyn since '95. And I'm an MTA worker.
MTA worker?
Yes. So, first of all, the guy from the post office that was here before who had questions, your union should be exposing the shitty workplace that you have to everybody to see what your working conditions are. Second of all, I got I love you guys' show, but I got a little bit of a bone to pick with you. Don't ever have
me?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Don't ever have John Samuelson on your show again, because this is the guy who endorsed Andrew Cuomo twice. This is the guy who negotiated away.
Can you say the name again? Who?
John Samuelson. He's the TWU international president.
Okay.
They
Is he the guy
negotiated.
From Brooklyn via Boston.
Via Boston? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so what happened last contract is our retirees' medical coverage was negotiated away where we only have the option of Medicare Advantage now. With that being said, I can't expect everybody here to understand what we go through, but I'm a signal maintainer. What that means is your train has traffic lights, your train has mechanism to stop itself from crashing into another train, and your train has a mechanism into switching to different tracks. That's what I do. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Our union just released endorsements, and in 14th Congressional District, they did not endorse AOC, who's somebody who's been a very good labor ally. The only thing I would say is, whenever you have guys from the union, try to have some opposition on, because we do have people that try to fight for our rights. The biggest problem right now for all of you that take the train, the air quality. PM 2.5 particles that go right into your bloodstream that will make you die sooner than you should. South Korea is dealing with it with having air quality monitors, and they're updating their tunnels where those particles are not flying up in the air when the train pulls in. Over here, it's a huge problem.
Oy.
So just be aware. I will have a petition going on very soon about that. But wear your mask when you're underground. If you're above ground, you have fiberglass particles flying around. That will lung in your lungs. That can be prevented with any regular mask. But just thank you for everything you're doing.
Appreciate it. And
Just-
listen, I would say to you and to anybody, if we have a guest on that you have a different perspective of, send us an email. Send it a couple of times.
Oh, yeah, I will.
I appreciate it. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to weigh in on the Sherrod Brown loss, possible loss, likely projected. Sherrod, sorry. The best senators against crypto was defeated. So it's an ongoing battle.
$40 billion crypto
Yep.
spent on that race.
Yeah.
To
yeah.
defeat Sherrod Brown. The amount of crypto spending in this election has been determinative in some of
All
these
right.
races. So.
I think we got time for one or two more questions. Come on up. Folks, we're going to go to about 12:15 or so. The race is not going to be...
The positives are the Democrats are saying, go to sleep, you're not going to know anything until tomorrow.
Sleep, Sunset Lake CBD.
It reminds me of 2020, but I also... She's underperforming Biden in many ways.
Wait,
so.
what did it remind you of?
2020.
Okay, but not 2016.
No, not well. Anyway, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Violet. I'm from Queens.
Yeah.
Yes, local. I wish I was feeling better right now. it's kind of weird to have people get to vote on whether you get osteoporosis at age 28. Because I'm a trans woman, and okay, collecting my thoughts. A couple of years ago, kind of at the height of the Republicans' sort of campaign against trans rights for the 2022 midterms, I was assaulted on the subway. I was earlier in my transition. Man saw me in a skirt, didn't like that, called me some choice slurs, and hit me. It was a day before my birthday, and it was a really bad time. It was not fun. But the next day, well, it wasn't the next day. It was the following Monday. I had been kind of out of the swing of listening to y'all's show. But I tuned in, and the reason I tell this story is because allies are really a dime a dozen, right? Everyone wants to be an ally. No one wants to be like that guy, right? I mean, except for a few people, right? But advocates are really special, especially when they're not like directly part of your community and invested, right? And like, y'all get pissed off on behalf of trans rights, and I really appreciate that. In fact, I appreciated it so much that I made the Fun Half song for the Thursdays. Yeah, I did that. And actually, first of all, Binder, you got all the jokes. None got past you. I really appreciated that. But second of all, actually collaborating with DJ Danarchy on another one that is Vergonia themed. And I was wondering, and you don't have to, I was wondering if maybe y'all could send me some of the unused flag submissions, because I would totally put that in like the visuals for it.
We can do that.
Could you have my email. You have it. Also, Jonathan's working on the one for the Emma thing too, and he's sent me previews of it. It's great. The Discord saw it. But yeah, I'm really glad I got to share the personal anecdote of like why I did that. Also, because I wanted to celebrate Michael, and I wanted to celebrate the shoes that Emma has filled. I really appreciate what y'all do a lot, and yeah.
Thank you.
Stay
Really
tuned.
appreciate your coming up, and also for the
song, which
It's
rocks.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
Good.
much.
Glad you like it.
All right, I think we can have time for, we got 4, 5 people standing there.
I mean,
Let's make it quick.
Gotta be,
Get out.
yes, gotta be quick, as it were.
Well, I have a few thoughts.
Okay.
Let's
try to
hear
be
one.
quick.
What's your name? Where are you coming from?
Giuliano from Chelsea, Massachusetts.
From Chelsea.
I've met both of you before, but you probably don't remember me.
Were you rude to me?
No, I was polite. But Sam, you gotta understand, I'm friggin' wasted, dude.
Oh, yes.
Oh, sure.
But
Yes.
I had a couple of jokes planned, but honestly, shit is serious. and I need to be serious.
tell
So we don't have
them,
much
but, like,
time. So
whatever.
let's be real about this, okay? No matter who wins, and it's not looking good, let's be real about that. No matter who wins, tomorrow is more important than today. We have to organize. We have to actually get out there and do things beyond just voting.
Yeah.
Because the Democrats are never going to do a goddamn thing that we think they should do because they take our votes for granted because we have nowhere else to go. And so we need to actually build a place to go. I'm in Boston DSA. I've been a paper member for like 5 years at this point. Jamie Peck actually convinced me to join, thanks to your show. And the late, great Michael Brooks, rest in peace. But I was a paper member for about 5 years, and then I recently reconnected with them, and I've been trying to get back involved. And my honest opinion is that what we need to do is in each of our areas where we live, we need to talk to the people we know and to try to get the people we know to do something, to get the labor unions organized. Every fucking business in our neighborhood should be organized into a union. We should have all the fucking apartments organized into a tenants union.
Yes.
We should try to get the co-ops on board, try to get all the little fucking microsects of bullshit socialist parties to actually agree with something and do something, and try to get together and try to build a base of power that can make the Democrats actually give a shit about us, because the only way they're gonna give a shit about us if we actually have the power for them to have an incentive to care.
Yeah.
And so I say all this to say, that's my answer to Lenin's age-old question of what is to be done. What is your answer to that question? Fuck Jimmy Dore!
I mean, I think you're right. I mean, I think there's, I don't know what other answer there is other than organizing. I do think that, you know, strategic voting is a smart thing to do, and I think that's necessary, but it's, you know, it's insufficient in the final analysis. You need to have the power that it's not, I don't think learning a lesson works. I think there has to be enough power that there's no other option. It's, you know, there's just not the institutional memory. It's just a series of individuals who get into a position of power within the context of any given Democratic Party. A year ago, nobody thought that, you know, everybody thought that Joe Biden was going to be president. And there was a whole, I mean, or I should say the nominee. And there's no lessons to be learned by people who, you know, are in power, aspire to power. They just pursue power. And I think the left, liberal left, and the left needs to build power so that there isn't, it's not about learning for the next time, there's no other option. You only go in this direction. It's not, and that's it. But thanks for the question. We've got to go to the next one. Appreciate it. We got to be quick because we got to get out of here in about.
You were not passed out drunk earlier. I
25
thought you
minutes.
were a man passed out drunk earlier, but you're not. You're very cogent and sober.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a
I
compliment
was
for
confused
What's
for a
your
second.
name?
I'm Sammy from Brooklyn.
Sammy from Brooklyn.
Yeah. I just wanted to, okay, before the question, I just wanted to say real quick that Sam, like, in all honesty, you really did, I mean, besides Kyle Kalinske, I think you were probably the next most influential person for me to get into politics.
All right, well,
And-
I appreciate it.
And I mean, I used to like, you know, I used to go from someone who was like an enlightened centrist to actually like Dave Rubin to, wait, let me finish. I went from that, and then right around the 2020 election, he blocked me on Twitter, and he still does to this day. So I mean, and Emma Vigeland also. I used to watch you when you were in Rebel HQ. So you know.
Thank you so much.
You know, it's great to
with
see you on.
Emma? Oh yeah, best part of it.
Yeah, but my question is like, something that I've noticed is that a lot of the people around me, especially other young men, you know, I'm 24, so I'm pretty young, are just like really just buying into this like red pill bullshit. And a lot of the media that they follow is not like mainstream media, but it's like non-corporate media, but not the one like that you guys run. It's like people who are like, you know, Fresh and Fit or like Tim Pool or any of those other guys, right? And the question is like, those guys are clearly either just grifters or insane.
Shrek is Hezbollah.
And I guess like, what is the solution? Because a lot of these people who also like call themselves like leftists, like Jimmy Dore, right? they're really not, obviously. But people still follow them and listen to them and think that they're credible. And I just don't I don't know that many people who actually just watch the same content that I do in terms of this. And it's like, I'm not a doomer usually, but it really is like demoralizing to see that, to see young men just like fall for these like charlatans and grifters. So like, what is the solution for that?
I mean, I think media literacy is a solution, but that's not one that you can, impose upon people. They have to adopt themselves. I think, it's something that we try and think about. I'm not sure that we've figured it out because there's an allure. We live in a country where there's rewards for a certain facileness. I don't know, maybe that's not the right word, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, Tim Pool doesn't do any fucking work. He doesn't give a shit. No, honestly. I mean, I went down there and I was shocked. I was shocked, honestly. But I don't.
We should apologize to Russia.
I don't know what the answer is, at least from our perspective, from our narrow perspective. But we got to get to a couple more questions. But believe me, it's something that
we're thinking about.
We're thinking about. It's something we're thinking about a lot.
Thank you, guys.
People have added the line, not appropriate.
If you're in line, stay in line.
No. We can't have more people.
I mean online. I'm sorry.
Someone
I'm in
added the
fucking
line.
New
You
York.
cannot do it. Okay.
We're
Gotta
all
be quick.
online.
Honestly, we only have about 15, 20 minutes left.
Hello, this is Ramona from New Hampshire, aka Ramona Frankenstein from the IMs.
Oh, hey!
Ramona Frankenstein.
First, I just want to say to Violet, I love you. Thank you for your song. You're beautiful. Second, I want to give some good news because we've had none of that tonight. So, I just want to let you guys know that we have the first ever out trans person elected to Congress tonight in Sarah McBride in Delaware. And as someone who was deeply closeted during the Bush administration, I can't imagine what it would have meant to see someone like her in a position of power. It's beautiful, incredible. My heart is so full for that. I also just want to, again, as Violet said, you guys are so good on trans issues. I am so appreciative. Emma, Francesca, I really want you guys to know that I really appreciate having two cis women who are vocally pro-trans because they try to make it seem like a feminist issue that we are a problem. We are not. You give proof to that. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Trans women are a part of the feminist movement. And
Hell yes, we are.
Telling you differently.
I'll tell you. Tell me your name again. Tell me her name again. Ramona. My cat, who I love, is named Ramona. But every time I'm on Piers Morgan, right? Every time I talk about abortion rights, he will come back at me with, but the trans athletes are being, and I step to him every single time. At this point, I'm just talking to him about Epstein because he was definitely on those flight logs. But I think these two folks have said, it's the least we can do. It's the least we can do is stand in solidarity with transgender Americans. And the most we can do is fight vocally and loudly and say that when we stand on this hill, when we fight for this, we expand human rights and rights for everyone. And I'm so proud to do that, no matter where you work or what you do. So, yeah, shit is easy. Feminism, fuck yeah. Love you. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for two more questions, I think, and then we're going to start to wrap. Go ahead.
Michael from Maryland, and this is not a question. I just want to give a perspective, being older than probably most anyone else in the room that this, win or lose, it's never going to end. And the only thing we can do is keep fighting.
Yeah.
You know, it won't matter if we give up when we win or we give up when we lose. It's a lifelong battle.
Agreed. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good point. What's your name? Where are you from?
Great T-shirt.
I'm Johnny from Connecticut. I'm looking for advice on something. I work with a lot of people that seem to support Trump to like the most weird, cringy level. Like I pull in the parking lot in the morning and there's a guy with a Trump flag on his car. And
Where are you?
I'm from Connecticut.
Okay.
Yes, I took this week off for this event, election stress, informing you that you have friends on the East Coast, things like that. But if Kamala wins this election, I'm going to have to deal with everything that I dealt with when Biden won in 2020. All the people I work with.
And more. She's a woman. She's a black woman too.
Yes, actually, that is part of it, because all of the people that I work with that typically vote Republican and whatnot who are down the rabbit hole, and I know this because there's a guy that I sometimes work with that has one of those autographed Rush Limbaugh coffee tumblers, and he has Newsmax on one of his computer screens. Oh! Exactly. It is cringy and weird, the amount of people I work with that support that guy. And yet, if Kamala wins, I'm going to return to work next week listening to all of them whine to a greater degree than before. That's true. Do you have any advice for blocking that out that doesn't involve drinking on the job?
Just
Not-
mock them.
I would say
mock
worry
them.
about it when it happens, because
Yes, yeah.
you might not have to worry about that problem.
We'll see.
A
Look,
good problem to have. Let's put it that way.
it's a good problem to have, and we're not going to know the state of the race. It's easy to get freaked out, but we'll see.
Remind me
We'll
your name
see.
again.
Johnny from Connecticut.
Johnny, when I go on Piers Morgan, and I know I'm facing nothing but 3 right-wing ghouls who are just after their money and nothing else, have fun. Have one moment of fun. You don't have to be mad, you don't have to clown on them, but just one little line that you've got, that you had in your back pocket, that you had fun with, that it was funny to you, that opened a conversation, or maybe you got them on, and that's fun for you. You're on your own little bullshit Piers Morgan panel and have fun with it. That's my only thing, is if we didn't have fun with this, I wouldn't do it anymore, right? But it's fun to clown on the right. And it's fun to beat them in the realm of ideas, beat them in the realm of legislation. It's fun to beat them on all levels, but you gotta work with them. But just have a little bit of fun, and just a little smile on that. So whatever that looks like to you.
All right.
Keep the faith,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Thank you very much, and I enjoy all of your shows.
Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Well, we're going to give it a couple more minutes. Look, not the way I wanted to wrap up the evening. This is going to go late into the night and probably into tomorrow morning. I think, if we're lucky. I think things don't look great, and all I can tell you, I won't be on the show for the next couple of days. As I mentioned, no, my mother passed away, so I'm going to be going to a funeral. But I think it's important for people to understand. The oldest person in the room, probably after me, or second to me, said this is an ongoing fight, and it's something that you have to engage in, and there's going to be, I think, disturbing periods. This country has gone through very disturbing periods, obviously, and out of those periods, good things have happened. We've talked about Trump's rally in Madison Square Garden. It's the last America First rally happened in the late 30s, and 85 years ago. And years later, we have the most progressive reforms that this country has ever seen that have been sustained through those 80 years or so. And so, you know,
Yeah.
I don't want to get too,
Well,
I did go see 8 Grateful Dead shows, and I could tell you, as a kid, and, you know, sometimes it's darkest before the dawn. We may be going into one of those periods.
We may be, but if Harris does end up winning this by a slimmer margin than we would have hoped, this is also harm reduction, because if Donald Trump wins, the Supreme Court will be right-wing for the rest of my lifetime. And probably a lot of people in this
The Supreme
room's
Court
lifetime.
can't reach the end of our lifetimes. Like,
If
whether
this
she
is
wins
how
or
it
not,
goes.
but I think
Mine, but not yours.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's no world where the Supreme Court is a functioning institution that allows progress. Like, that's something we need to organize against, as far as, and I mean, maybe Trump winning and stacking it even more makes that obvious to people, but it's a non-starter. We're gonna be underwater.
Totally, but we'll see. We should know some more tomorrow, but not exactly the tone we want to leave you guys with, but, you know.
You can still buy Sam Cedar a drink. Club soda and tequila is what he
No,
prefers.
I will not be accepting any more.
And buy some
drinks.
merch, guys.
Palestine.
Free Palestine. That movement continues, of course.
Hang in there. Still a chance, but again, you know, regardless of who wins this election, organizing is always going to be necessary, and you know, it's something you should be doing tomorrow, the next day, so on, regardless of who wins. But it's going to be a tense couple of days. And then hopefully, well, we'll
4
see.
years.
Is this time to give it up for all the people who have worked on the show?
Oh!
For Bradley and for Matt.
I want to thank John from San Antonio, John Benjamin, you, Bob. What's that? Oh, and Letterhack, of course, Matt.
Wait, Letterhack is here.
Amazing poster. Oh, there he is. Stand up.
Yes.
Letterhack in the house. And Isaac, who's been back doing merch. They've been doing all sorts of utility stuff. And Dorsey, of course. Folks, hang in there. We'll be on tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, and then back Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and you get the picture. When's the next live show? Not sure. All right, drive carefully. Thanks so much for coming out.
Thanks, guys.
You're about to be untamed.
Because you guys are grifters. Because you guys are grifters. This is what you do.